Hello everyone, this is Amritpal Singh. Welcome to my second video on Apache Flink. In the previous video, I've just talked about what is Apache Flink and its basic. Today we'll be learning that what are different layers available in the Apache Flink ecosystem. Because to understand Apache Flink, we need to first understand its ecosystem. Because the terminology or the layers should be understood so that we can go in the depth of Apache Flink. So this video is equally important as of other videos. So stay tuned. I'll be discussing regarding different layers which are available in the ecosystem. So let's start with this. So this is nothing but our Apache Flink ecosystem. You can see there are several things available, like in the form of different layers. You can see the different layers, namely storage, deployment, kernel, APIs, and libraries, right? And you can see there are different options available. So I'll be discussing the things one by one, like layer by layer. The first layer we have is actually at the bottom. You can see the storage layer. Okay, so you must be wondering that why are different options available, right? Because unlike Apache Hadoop, it doesn't have its own storage. Like Apache Hadoop relies on the SDFS for its storing like things, like all the files, everything will be stored in the Hadoop distributed file system, but it's not the case in the case of Flink. Flink actually doesn't have its own storage system. It is designed to read and write data from different storage systems as well as consume data from different streaming systems. So like we have a different options like as far as storage or streaming is concerned. Let me just discuss those options. So this is nothing but these are different options like from where the Flink can read and write data, or it can consume data from different stream systems with the likes of SDFS. Local FS means local file system. HBase, it's a NoSQL database, which is a columnar database in the Apache ecosystem. Then we have a MongoDB, right? It's a NoSQL database. RDBMS, you all know that it's a relational DBMS. S3 is a simple storage service from Amazon. Kafka, like we already talked about Kafka in the separate playlist, which is nothing but a publish subscribe messaging system. Then we have Apache Flume. Then we have a RabbitMQ, right? These are some of the options from where the Apache Flink can read and write data, or it can consume data from these streaming systems. Okay, so this is about the first layer, which is the storage and streaming layer. Let's talk about the second layer, deployment. Okay, so deployment, as I've already mentioned in my previous video also, like in the introduction to Apache Flink, there are different deployment options available because Flink can easily be integrated with different cluster managers. So we have a different deployment options available. So let me discuss these deployment options. The first option that we have is local mode, cluster mode, yarn, Mesos, cloud. So let me discuss it one by one, right? So this is the second layer of the ecosystem, right? So the Flink can be deployed in multiple modes. The first mode is local mode, means like on a single machine, single node in a single JVM. Next is a cluster. On the multi-node cluster, like we can deploy the Flink in the multi-node cluster as well. Third is yarn. Yarn stands for yet another resource negotiator. Again, if you are from the Hadoop background, you must be familiar with this term. It's a part of the Hadoop which was introduced in Hadoop 2.x, right? Next we have a Apache Mesos. It's also a generalized resource manager. And then last we have a cloud. Cloud means like we can deploy a Flink on the Amazon or Google Cloud. So these are some of the deployment options available as far as the second layer of the ecosystem is concerned. So let's talk about the third layer. Third layer is nothing but my kernel, right? So what we have in this, let me talk about this. The third layer is called Flink kernel. So the third layer is a runtime which we call it as a distributed streaming workflow or data flow, or which is also known as the kernel of Apache Flink. So this layer actually provides distributed processing, right? As you all know that we never ever now talk about the centralized processing. We talked about the distributed processing, which is the I guess characteristic of like the frameworks that we already have gone through, right? It also provides us fault tolerance, reliability, iterative processing capability. Like iterative meaning is that like example is k-means clustering, like which actually give you the results in not in the one go. It will be giving you result in multiple like iterations. So it's a layer which provides us these much of capabilities, right? Okay, the next layer that we have in the ecosystem, which we have defined in this diagram, is APIs and libraries, right? So like I've mentioned in the previous video also that we have a different APIs with which we need to work with. Okay, so like the Flink actually APIs and libraries provides diverse capability to Flink as listed below. You can see here that we have listed here some of the APIs or libraries. Let me talk about it step by step. The first one is dataset API. So dataset API means that is we'll be dealing with the data which is at rest. That's why we call that dataset API. So this API handles the data at rest that is generated at various sources like by reading a text or CSV files from a local collections, right? So it's a dataset API which is actually dealing with the data which is at rest. Next one, it means like here we will be performing the transformations like map, flat map on the data which is at rest, right? Then we have a data stream API. So it handles the transformation on continuous stream of data. As we already have talked about stream a lot of time, like it's a basic unit of the Apache Flink, right? So it handles the transformations on the continuous stream of data, right? So like again we can like make use of several transformations like on the data which is in streaming mode, right? Not in the data at rest. Like in the case of dataset API, it supports some of the transformations. Similarly, data stream API also supports some of the transformations. So we'll be dealing with these transformations in a later video. But examples of these transformations are map, flat map. We have the filter. Then we have a windowing operations. Okay, so we have a multiple transformations available as far as data stream APIs is concerned. The third one is table API. Right, so table API actually is nothing but it's a relational API with the SQL-like expression language. Right, you can again, if you're from the DBMS background, the table API itself actually say everything. So it's a relational API with the SQL-like relational expression language, right? Okay, so next one is Jelly. So what is Jelly here? Jelly is nothing but it's the equivalent of the GraphX of Apache Spark. Like in the Apache Spark, we have a GraphX for the graph computation. So in the case of Apache Flink, we have the Jelly available through which we can make use of Jelly for the graph computations. Last is Flink ML. Flink ML stands for Flink Machine Learning. Again, it is the equivalent of like a machine learning of the Apache Spark. In the Apache Spark also we have the ML. We have one component which deal with the machine learning. Similarly, in the Apache Flink, we have this Flink ML available, which will be dealing with the machine learning capabilities, like with the likes of clustering, classification, recommendation, like this and that, right? So these are nothing but some of the APIs and the library which has been supported by Apache Flink. So just to summarize this video, let's come back to the original picture which I've shown in the at very start of this video. Like we have the different layers available: storage, deployment, kernel. Then we have APIs libraries in which we have a Flink ML, Jelly, table API. Then we have a data set or data stream API. So we are having multiple options available, through which we can deploy our Flink, Apache Flink, and we can store the data related to the Apache Flink, or we can have a different APIs available for batch processing or stream processing, right? So I hope you must have understood from this video the Apache Flink ecosystem. In case if you have any doubt whatsoever, you can please comment on my video. Thanks for watching. See you next video.